Pather Panchali, translated as Song of the Little Road, is a 1955 Indian Bengali-language drama film written and directed by Satyajit Ray. In his directorial debut, it is an adaptation of Bibhutibhushan Bandyopadhyay's 1929 Bengali novel of the same name. Being the first film in the Apu Trilogy, Pather Panchali depicts the childhood travails of the protagonist Apu, played by Subir Banerjee, and his elder sister Durga, played by Uma Dasgupta, amidst the harsh village life of their poor family. Production was interrupted because of funding problems, and it took nearly 3 years for the film to be completed. The film was shot mainly on location, had a limited budget, featured mostly amateur actors, and was made by an inexperienced crew. This is one of the most beautiful films ever made in any language. The soundtrack of the film was composed by the sitar player Ravi Shankar, who was at an early stage of his career, having debuted in 1939. The background scores feature pieces based on several ragas of Indian classical music, played mostly on the sitar. The soundtrack, described in a 1995 issue of the Village Voice as at once plaintive and exhilarating, is featured in the Guardian's 2007 list of 50 greatest film soundtracks. According to Robinson, when Ray met Shankar, the latter hummed a tune that was folk-based but had a certain sophistication. This tune, usually played on a bamboo flute, became the main theme for the film. Editing was handled by Dulal Datta. The tale of Apu's life is continued in the two subsequent installments of Ray's trilogy, Aparajito 1956 and Apur Sansar 1959. Pather Panchali is described as a turning point in Indian cinema, as it was among the films that pioneered the parallel cinema movement, which espoused authenticity and social realism. The first film from independent India to attract major international critical attention, it won India's National Film Award for Best Feature Film in 1955, the Best Human Document Award at the 1956 Cannes Film Festival, and several other awards, establishing Ray as one of the country's most distinguished filmmakers. It is often featured in lists of the greatest films ever made. In 1910, rural Bengal, Harihar Roy, played by Kanu Banerjee, he was an established Bengali film actor, earns a meagre living as a pujari, priest, but dreams of a better career as a poet and playwright. His wife Sarvojaya, played by Karuna Banerjee, she was an amateur actress from the Indian People's Theatre Association, cares for their children Durga and Apu and Harihar's elderly cousin Indir Thakuran. Because of their limited resources, Sarvojaya resents having to share her home with the old Indir, who often steals food from their already bare kitchen. Durga is fond of Indir and often gives her fruits stolen from a wealthy neighbor's orchard. One day, the neighbor's wife accuses Durga of stealing a bead necklace, which Durga denies, and blames Sarvojaya for encouraging her tendency to steal. Satyajit Ray, working as a graphic designer for Signet Press, created the illustrations for an abridged edition of the book in 1944. At that time, Ray read the unabridged novel. Signet's owner, D.K. Gupta, told Ray that the abridged version would make a great film. The idea appealed to Ray, and around 1946-47, when he considered making a film, he turned to Pather Panchali because of certain qualities that made it a great book: its humanism, its lyricism, and its ring of truth. As the elder sibling, Durga cares for Apu with motherly affection but spares no opportunity to tease him. Together, they share life's simple joys, sitting quietly under a tree, weaving picture in a traveling vendor's bioscope, running after the candy man who passes through, and watching a jatra, folk theatre performed by an acting troupe. Every evening, they are delighted by the sound of a distant train's whistle. Ray's frequent collaborator Subrata Mitra was in charge of the cinematography. Ray, in a black and white cinematography, captures the texture of childhood, in a scene where Apu and Durga rush out into the fields when the train passes by, excited by its speed and noise and promise of some mysterious elsewhere. Just look at the choice of camera position in this film. Children like Apu and Durga often shot from above, eyes upward at adults and the brave new world that fascinates them. Adults are shot from below, visually giving people like Sarvojaya the towering power of matriarch. Pather Panchali did not have a script. It was made from Ray's drawings and notes. Before principal photography began, he created a storyboard dealing with details and continuity. Sarvoja grows increasingly resentful of Indir and becomes more openly hostile, which causes Indir to take temporary refuge in the home of another relative. One day, while Durga and Apu run to catch a glimpse of the train, Indir, who is feeling unwell, goes back home and the children find she has passed away upon their return. The realist narrative style of Pather Panchali was influenced by Italian neorealism and the works of French director Jean Renoir. In 1949, Renoir came to Calcutta to shoot his film The River, 1951. Ray, a founding member of the Calcutta Film Society, helped him scout for locations in the countryside. When Ray told him about his long-standing wish to film Pather Panchali, Renoir encouraged him to proceed. In 1950, Ray was sent to London by his employer, the advertising agency DJ Kimmer, to work at their headquarters. During his 6 months in London, he watched about 100 films. Among these, Vittorio De Sica's neorealist film Bicycle Thieves, 1948, had a profound impact on him. In a 1982 lecture, Ray said that he had come out of the theatre determined to become a filmmaker. The film made him believe that it was possible to make realistic cinema that was shot on location with an amateur cast. During this time, Bimal Roy had made Do Biga Zameen, 2 acres of land in India. The film had a few songs shot largely on locations. It was about the struggle of a peasant family. The film was in the tradition of neorealist cinema with natural acting, though using professional actors including Balraj Sahni, who pioneered natural acting in mainstream Indian films. The film won the Prix International at the Cannes Festival 1954. Do Biga Zameen and Kurosawa's Rashomon further strengthened Satyajit Ray's faith in the kind of film he was making. With prospects drying up in the village, Harrier travels to the city to seek a better job. He promises that he will return with money to repair their dilapidated house, but is gone longer than expected. During his absence, the family sinks deeper into poverty, and Sarvoja grows increasingly desperate and anxious. One day, during the monsoon season, during plays in the downpour, catches a cold and develops a high fever. Her condition worsens as a thunderstorm batters the crumbling house with rain and wind, and she dies the next morning. All the mischief, discoveries, curiosity, joys, and tragedies of life are given endlessly lyrical expression. Ray specialized in a kind of cinematic naturalism in which the on-screen action unfolds in a manner that feels at once poetic and realistic. Harrier returns home and starts to show Sarvoja the merchandise he has brought from the city. A silent Sarvoja breaks down at her husband's feet, and Harrier cries out in grief as he discovers that Durga has died. The family decides to leave their ancestral home for Banaras. As they pack, Apu finds the necklace Durga had earlier denied stealing. He throws it into a pond. Apu and his parents leave the village on an ox cart while a snake is seen slithering into their now barren house. His films have an irresistible knack for turning the ordinary into the exciting with simplicity and beauty. Akira Kurosawa said, "Not to have seen the cinema of Ray means existing in the world without seeing the sun or the moon." Martin Scorsese once said about Ray, "Without a doubt, in his films, the line between poetry and cinema dissolved." Akira Kurosawa and Jean Renoir revered him. Martin Scorsese, Francis Coppola, and Wes Anderson are among the many filmmakers who have been inspired by him. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and share this video, do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon.